So, I think last time we left off, we were talking about your circle of friends and shit like that. Today, kind of just, the other day, I'm actually really proud of myself. I went out and bought one of these fancy fucking smartwatches. I've been going to the gym, and I've almost crushed my phone like 3 times on the leg press machine. And I go through phones like Carter goes through liver pills. And the last thing I want to do is start pissing my wife off by needing another phone. So, I'm going through hell and high water to find this goddamn smartwatch because there was a specific one that I wanted. There's some huge fucking chip shortage going on right now because of COVID. And nobody had them. So, I went up to Plymouth and got one up there. The guys up there were awesome. Plymouth T-Mobile, fucking great group of guys. They set me up and got me the watch. And I put it on, I was leaving. And as I was driving home, I'm looking at it. Wow, this thing's really fucking cool. I got home and, I started playing with it a little bit. And I started thinking about 4 years ago. Longer than that. It was probably like 8 years ago. I went on a job interview, and I put a watch on, and I freaked the fuck out about 3 minutes into wearing the goddamn watch, and because there was something on my wrist. And same thing with my wedding band. It took me a really long time to get used to wearing, my wedding band. And my wedding band, what I ended up doing was I would wear it for a little while until I started having a panic attack, and then I would take it off and put it down, let the shit subside, put it on, and over time I got it so I could just wear it. Now, if I don't have it on, I feel fucking naked. But that it all stems from the physical abuse, and with the physical abuse, had a much greater and long-term effect on me mentally than the sexual abuse. I mean, granted, the sexual abuse still fucked me up, don't get me wrong. But the physical abuse, long sleeves, watches, shit like that. And the whole reason behind that was that my grandfather used to tie me up and beat the living fucking snots out of me. And he would take his belt and wrap it around my wrist and step on my feet and hit the shit out of me. And that's just how it was. And getting locked in, he had this trunk at the foot of his bed. And he would throw me in the trunk. And it was an old military trunk, like from World War II. And the darkness and the silence of it is what really, really fucked me up. As a kid, I couldn't really sleep over friends' houses because if it got dark, I'd have panic attacks and I would freak the fuck out. And that carried through till I was an adult. But I went to a wedding. It was a good friend of mine's about 5-10 years ago, longer than that. God. Like 15 years ago. And I was a groomsman. And he knew me very well, so he made sure that I didn't have to wear a jacket so I could roll my sleeves up. And it took everything that I had inside of me at that point in my life to be able to put that goddamn jacket on to do the photos for his wedding. And I had actually pulled the photographer aside and explained to her what was going on with me. And she didn't fucking tell any of the other groomsmen, which was awesome. She would do a couple pictures, tell us to take our jackets off, do a couple more pictures, have us put our jackets back on, repose. And she really helped me out with that. And it was just constant work to get to the point where I now own a fucking watch. And that may not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but to me, that's fucking huge. it's something that I just chalked up as it was never going to fucking happen. I don't have to sleep with a bathroom light on. I don't have to have a fan going in another room so there's some type of noise. This is all shit that I just worked on over time to better my life so I could get to a point where I could function as a fucking human being. The mask thing I still have an issue with. I can wear it for a little while and there's something in my brain. I start having a hard time breathing, and it brings me right back to my grandfather putting a dirty t-shirt over my face and choking me. And I am trying to fucking get through that. It's not easy, but it's something that I'm working on. I hate wearing a fucking mask. Not only for the mental aspects of me, but for the fact of my personal beliefs. But, yeah, so it's constant work, to just better my life and get back to some sort of fucking normalcy. But I was really, really proud of myself that I was actually able to buy a watch and wear it and be okay with it. And it's the small little victories that a lot of people don't understand, but a few of us do understand. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Workout's going absolutely fucking awesome. I'm at 30 days now. Still no depression, still no anxiety. I'm amazed at that aspect of it. I still have a hard time believing that it's been 30 days, because the longest I would go was a couple days, and that couple days would scare the living shit out of me because I knew what was coming up on the other end. So this has been completely life-changing for me. I feel mentally, spiritually, physically the best I've ever felt in my life, and it's fucking great. Went to the doctor today because I have a fucking hell of an ingrown toenail, and talked to him about that, and he actually started talking to me about possibly getting into some sort of yoga. So I'm going to try to work that into next week, 1 or 2 days a week, do that. But yeah, so basically what I'm getting at, I'm fucking rambling. They got the Pan Mass Challenge down on the Cape today in Bourne, so it's from Boston to Provincetown. They go all through my town, so I'm trying to dodge fucking retards in Italian leather riding their fucking bikes. So if I see a little distracted, that's what it is. If you hear a loud thud, it's probably somebody on a fucking bike. But yeah, so back to these triggers. For the longest time for me, it was smells, sounds, feelings, shit like that would fucking make me crawl right inside of myself. I used to get nosebleeds when I was really young. That's how stressed out I would get. I would get nosebleeds. They cauterized my nose and they thought that would help, but I would still get these nosebleeds due to stress at I think it was like 8 or 9. So as I grew up and as I got a little bit more mentally grown and started to be able to identify these triggers, I was able to start working on them so that it wouldn't happen. Because for me, more than anything, it was an embarrassment, and that added to my already fucking shell of an existence. So I started working on these triggers, and the way that I worked on them, I'm not sure if it was the healthiest way, but I would just put myself into situations where I'd be forced to deal with it for X amount of time. And then over time, I was able to deal with them for a longer period of time until it no longer bothered me the way that it did. And that's kind of how I just dealt with life and gripped with life. My emotional pain, I would turn into physical pain by either cutting myself or fighting or hurting myself one way, shape, or form, because for myself it was easier to identify the pain that I felt internally with external pain. And that took some time to get a grip on. And with that, that's where I started learning about talking to people. And if anything else, if I didn't feel like I should talk to anybody, what I would do is go for a walk in the woods and just talk out loud amongst myself. And when I could verbally hear my conversation, it would help me to come to terms with what was going on. And I'm not sure if that's part of the depression, the PTSD, the dyslexia, or if it's just how my mind works. But if I could verbally hear my problems and issues out loud, it would immensely help me to deal with them. So I'd go in the woods and just walk down a path and then find a little area in the woods where I was away from everyone and just sit on something and just have these conversations with myself about life. And it would help me come to terms with what was going on in my life. 44 years old, I still do that to this day. It's not walking in the woods so much as it is going fishing on the canal, or now it's, fishing, or just going for a walk or a run. And I honestly don't give a shit who hears it now, because hey, it may help somebody, or somebody may get a good laugh out of it. But the triggers that we have today, the triggers that I have today, are not what they used to be. And it was just through a lot of grit and determination to be a better person mentally, and to have something that I felt that I could offer to my family, my kids. My 11-year-old son right now has more mental strength than most of the adults that I've ever met in my life. And a big part of that is I've been teaching him since infancy how to deal with strengths and weaknesses and problems, deductive reasoning in his brain, the difference between ego and confidence, how to be a leader, how to take corrective criticism, and all these things that all these tools that I've been loading into my toolbox my entire life, I've been slowly giving to my son. He doesn't have the trauma and the abuse, so he's just getting the good side of it, which is awesome, because the development that I've seen with him is absolutely fucking amazing. The way that his mind works, the way that he deals with things. One of my proudest moments was a few years back. Before we bought the house, we decided that we were going to buy a house. And my wife was having a shit show at work. She had a lot of anxiety. There was a lot of outside forces working against her. She had pressure coming in at every angle of life. My depression was at an all-time fucking low. Would that be an all-time high? I don't fucking know. My depression was fucking horrendous at that point. And so she's dealing with that. I'm just completely fucking shutting down emotionally. And she's dealing with shit at work, dealing with shit with the kids, the shell of a fucking husband. And she was talking about her day at dinner. And my son, who's like 9, puts his little hand on top of Leah's hand, and he goes, "Listen, Mom," he goes, "you don't have bad days, you have bad moments." And I knew where he was going with this, because it's something that I had taught him. And Leah goes, "Oh, no, I had a bad day." And he goes, "No, Mommy," he goes, "there's no such thing as a bad day, it's bad moments." He goes, "As soon as you start having a bad moment, you have a decision where you can either stop that moment right then and there and take a second and give it to God and start your day over, or you can carry that moment and your day will just progressively get worse. And you have to look at it like a backpack. The more stuff you put in your backpack, the heavier it gets and the more it's going to drag you down. But every time you start to have a bad moment, if you give it to God and you take a minute, something comes out of your backpack and you're able to go on with your day." Mommy, I've had bad moments 6 times today. 3 of them were at school, and I asked to go to the bathroom, and I gave it to God, And I came back out and I started my day over. And that fucking blew me away. So proud. Because I know 98% of the adults in my life don't have the mental bandwidth to realize that, let alone implement it on a daily basis. So the traumas that we have today, the traumas that I've had throughout my life, and the tools that I've developed to use them work in every aspect of my life today. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I can take some of my toolbox and open it up and pass it on to other people and help other people deal with their struggles and their pains and what's going on. You know, you don't have to be physically and sexually abused to have depression. You don't have to have had a childhood like mine to have the same feelings that I have. You don't have to have had a similar past to mine to have attempted suicide. The whole point of this channel is to help people. Through helping people, I'm helping myself. Yeah, that's kind of fucking selfish, but it's making my life better. Every single, you know somebody who has a similar past to mine. Something that I'm going to say through one of these videos is going to make something click in your mind. And all I ask is that you say, hey, listen, you need to check out this video. And help them. Because we need to help each other. Because doing this alone fucking sucks. I did it for a long time. I've done it for you. It's fucking misery. It is absolute fucking misery. I'm 44. I'm married. I have 2 amazing kids. A fucking rock star dog. And I have a life today that I never, ever thought was going to be possible. Through grit, work, crying, writing, talking, bitching, and taking advice from people. And it's fucking great, man. It's absolutely great. Little victory. Gotta fucking watch. Been wearing it for fucking 3 days now. 4 days. And it's fucking cool. It's so fucking cool. It's a watch. It's stupid, but for me it's awesome, you know? Being handcuffed to a fucking bed and getting beaten with a belt till his arm got fucking tired, and if I cried, I got hit even more because men don't cry. That was something that took me a long time to break through, that crying is good. Crying makes me feel better. Now I'm an emotional fucking bitch. I watch movies, I cry. I watch shit on YouTube, I fucking bawl. My kid was playing tryouts the other day, Liam, and just the look of absolute joy on his face while he was crushing out these fucking tryouts. You know, I fucking went in the bathroom and fucking cried because he was so happy. And 2 months ago, he was done with lacrosse because of some bad coaching. And now he's back out being a little fucking rock star. And crying's fucking great. I love crying. It's a release. It's a very, very healthy release that makes me feel really, really good. My wife and I are renewing our vows. And every time I start to think about it, I choke up like a 9-year-old girl. And I fucking love it. I do. Because for so long I didn't cry. So I'm definitely fucking making up for it today. But yeah, triggers, they fucking suck. But if you talk about them and you work through them, you can get through them. And that's a big part of it. Because you do deserve a life. You deserve a much better life than the life that you've been living. You know, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop a comment. I have 2 subscribers now, which is fucking cool. I don't know who the hell they are. It's probably my wife and myself. But if you're watching this video, if you like it, subscribe, hit a like, drop a comment. If you have a question about something that's going on, or if you don't want to leave a comment because you're not ready to talk about it, you can email me. My email is billyenergy23@gmail. That's billyenergy23@gmail. Send me an email with your question. I'll leave it completely anonymous, and I'll try to answer it the best that I can, because I know that a lot of people aren't ready or aren't comfortable yet talking or even asking questions. The videos that I did on Facebook, my messenger was fucking blown up, which was fucking great. I'm gonna start sharing. I'm gonna share a couple of these on Facebook. So yeah, got a fucking watch. I'm wearing a watch. One small victory. I'll fucking take it. So yeah, hope everyone has a great day. It's fucking Sunday. I'm gonna go hit the gym, and then I'm gonna go do my fucking shuffle on the canal for 4 miles, and keep doing what I'm doing because my head feels fucking amazing. It's good to be able to mentally fucking breathe. It's a pretty good fucking feeling. I feel like I actually have something to offer somebody today. So yeah, love you all. Hope you have a great fucking week. And I will talk to you all soon. Take care. God bless. Bye.